Bending is the verification I do the most when I design reinforced concrete elements as a structural engineer. You need to verify bending when you design beams, slabs, frames, foundation beams, pad footings, strip footings, and a lot of other structural elements. Welcome to episode 1 of the Reinforced Concrete series, where we cover everything you need to know about reinforced concrete. My name is Laudin, I'm a full-time structural engineer, and in the next weeks and months I'll teach you the basics of reinforced concrete design, such as shear, torsion and compression design. Later we'll dive deeper into anchorage lengths and the strut and tie method, and we'll also design reinforced concrete beams, columns, slabs, shear walls and a lot more. So if you don't want to miss any of these videos, then subscribe to the channel. And now let's get into the topic of today. So, bending verification of reinforced concrete beams in 6 steps. Here is our example structure to run through the 6 steps. We have a simply supported beam with a bending moment of 334 kilonewton per meter and a cross-section with a cross-sectional height of 550 millimeters and width of 300 millimeters. Step 1, first we define the properties of concrete and reinforcement. So in this tutorial we use the following concrete and reinforcement properties. We'll use a C25 concrete, which has a characteristic compression strength of 25 megapascal, and we'll use a reinforcement yield strength of 550 megapascal. In step 2, we calculate the lever arm of the longitudinal reinforcement. The lever arm is the distance from the most outer concrete fiber in compression, which is in our case the top, like here, to the longitudinal reinforcement, which is taking up the tension forces, which is basically down here. In our example, for a positive bending moment, we'll get compression on top, like I said, in this area, and tension in the bottom, like here where we have the reinforcement. Let's assume that the diameter of the longitudinal reinforcement is 25 millimeters and the stirrups have a diameter of 10 millimeters. Then the lever arm is calculated as 498 millimeters. In step 3, we calculate the required longitudinal reinforcement to take up the tension forces. And the required reinforcement is first calculated with these formulas, mu and omega. And then from those two formulas, the required reinforcement is calculated in our case as 1,735 square millimeters. Now, in step 4, we pick the diameter and the amount of longitudinal reinforcement, so the number of rebars we're using. The required reinforcement is calculated with this formula as 490 square millimeters, and then as a next step we calculate the amount of rebars we need to fulfill the required reinforcement demand, which is basically 3.5, and then we round up to get 4. And now we can basically calculate the total reinforcement area for 4 rebars, which we're using, of a diameter of 25, and that is 1,963 square millimeters. In step 5, we verify the degree of reinforcement so that the cross-section is not under or over reinforced. And yes, we first calculate omega min as 0.035, and then we verify that omega is greater than omega min, which is the case, so it's okay. Next we calculate the omega balance as 0.502, and the verification is also okay. And then omega max is calculated as 1.107, and again omega max is greater than omega, which is also okay. So all these verifications are fine. In step 6, we verify the minimum reinforcement so that the minimum reinforcement demands are fulfilled. The minimum reinforcement for beams is calculated as 194 square millimeters, and now when we compare that with the rebars that we calculated in the previous steps, we see that we have 1963 square millimeters of reinforcement, which is okay. Now here you can see the cross section with the 4 rebars, but be aware that this was only the verification for the bottom longitudinal reinforcement. Don't forget to verify also the reinforcement in the top, and of course you also have some minimum reinforcement requirements, so you should always have rebars also in the top. To round things up, final words. For many of you this might been repetition, but repetition is always good. It deepens your knowledge. I also often gain new insights when I write and document these videos and newsletters. Even though I have probably done this verification many times, I think I have done this verification over 50 times. What happens in your day-to-day tasks as a structural engineer is that you use software for most of these verifications. So you actually don't go through these steps every time. But you definitely need to know what the software is doing to actually interpret if the software is giving you the correct results, and to maybe find errors in your input. Going through these hand calculations like we did now helps remember the formulas and fundamentals of reinforced concrete designs. If we know the fundamentals by heart, we have a better understanding of why a structure might not verify in a software program and how we can make it verify. So if you don't want to miss any structural design tutorials, then subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you in the next one.